In this video I'm going to show you how to make drums like this. All the samples used in this video are available in my Jump Up DNB sample pack, link in description. Feel free to follow along with the pack or with your own samples. First of all we have kick 07, which sounds like this, and there's no post-processing on it, but if you want it to sound even heavier you could try putting some like distortion on, for example, and then what we're going to do is just pop it in the mix. Every single bar, and then we're going to go to step mode, drag these across so they're meeting halfway like this, and then we're just going to pull them across half a beat to there so we get that steppy pattern. Next we're going to use clap 4, which sounds like this, and I've just shortened the out here to make it even snappier so you can see the wavetable shape changing here, and then we're going to drag this in and put it every second beat and fourth beat like this. And then we're just going to copy this across like this. I'm just selecting it by holding Control and dragging it whilst clicking Shift. So let's listen to these. So you can see that my kick drum is coming in the loudest and then the clap is just below it. Now you want to use a combination of your ears and the visual guide to make sure that the kick is the loudest element and the clap is coming in second. And you can also see down here, these are turned all the way to mono because we want the kick and the clap to both be in mono. Now feel free to layer this clap or add more elements or different plugins. My favorite to use are Camel Crusher, Decapitator, Saturn, and then the FL basic ones as well, like the distortion one's pretty good. But I'm happy with how this sounds on its own since I designed it for this. That is the kick and the clap done. If you could just take a second to hit that like button, it would be much appreciated. Part 2 is going to be the hi-hats. Let's start with Jump Up Hat 20. Sounds like this. And we're going to put this in between the kick and the clap, like this. And then we're just going to keep putting it in like that. And then we're just going to duplicate it across like we have before. And then we should get this. Now it's sounding a bit rigid at the moment, so we want to add more hi-hats in the gaps to add groove. Now this is essential for these kind of drums because without groove the track won't feel like it's moving and it would just make the track sound 10 times worse. So let's grab another hi-hat. So we're going to use Jump Up Hat 21, which sounds like this. And we're going to put this just after the previous hi-hat. So we're going to put one here, here, here. And then we're just going to drag this across like that. And then keep doing it again. You can put it on bar mode like this if that's easier. And then we should have something that sounds like this. Now it's starting to sound a bit more groovy, but we can do even more to it. So let's add another hi-hat. So back onto step mode. And we're going to find the middle here between the bar. And then just move it across one step like that. And that's the final piece of the groove for the hi-hat. Just copy it across. And then if you want to look at how it's mixed down on here, we can see they're all coming in a lot quieter than the kick and the clap. And then different ones have different volumes depending on which one you want to produce the most swing. And another thing you can do as well is you can go into each individual sample and you can just boost and increase the velocity a bit, the volume, if you want to add even more swing. So I could go through all of these and just do that to add some individual swing. You could do it for these ones and these ones as well. Another thing you can do is you can actually like put this on none mode like this, and then you can like drag these across like this to add even more swing. But you just got to be really careful with this because it can make the track sound rigid again. So just maybe go in and effect like this one here maybe, and then maybe do like one in the next section. And every time you change one, just listen to it back and make sure it doesn't sound worse. Make sure it sounds a little bit better and a little bit more natural. Otherwise it could just sound out of time and bad. So now we've done the kick, the clap and the hi-hats. There's one more section to do, and that's the percussion. So I'm using a loop here, which I've made. And if you want to try and recreate this loop, it's really simple. It's just a ride with some reverb on, hitting every single bar. And then the tail is abruptly ending before the next ride starts, just so there's no gap. And then you can see that the velocity has changed on different ones just to give that more groove effect. This will be coming in even quieter than the hi-hats. And you can adjust like the stereo if you want it to sound more stereo on here. And then just make sure the EQ is all in the high range here. And you want this to be as soft and delicate as possible. You don't want any harsh frequencies. So altogether, the drums should sound like this. So that is the drums complete, but I just want to show you one more thing. We've also got the drum bus. So every element here is being sent to this drum bus. And actually all I've got on it at the moment is a Pro L, just boosting the range a little bit. But what I normally do, so I've just moved the Pro L down one, is I'll put a Saturn 2 here, just on the default mode, and then I'll increase the drive to taste. And that just adds like a nice level of saturation to the drums. And then this just acts as like a control. So if I'm adding loads of basses and the basses have suddenly got really loud, I can just bump this up even louder. Quite often or not, that makes your mix sound louder as well, despite what's going on in the master channel. And it's just a really nice way of having your workflow. So instead of having to go and change every single bass and make them quieter and blah, blah, you can just boost the drums with one movement of your mouse. And then we also have the drum bus going into these parallel compression and parallel distortion, which basically just gives it more channels to run through before it goes to the master channel. So you can add some compression onto here, and then you can add some distortion onto here, and just change the amounts that they're going to it. There isn't any compression or distortion on these drums, but if I wanted to make them even thicker, I could. So I'd maybe use just any sort of compressor. So I could even use the fruity one, and then just pick like a nice preset and just turn it down a bit. And I could add like a distortion on here. So I could just add Saturn again. And you just hear how it's making the drums even thicker. If you haven't got this project template, yeah, it is available in the add-ons section of the website as well. So feel free to get it with the Jump Up sample pack. I literally use this template in every single one of my tracks, and it's been like game-changing. Just makes it so much simpler. That is the video complete. Hope you learned something. Let me know in the comments if you'd add any more drums to this or if you'd change anything. Really interested to hear what you think. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.